What's up guys, it's me, Gearholic here, and I'm doing another review, and this time it's going to be over the official US military precision Lensatic compass made by Kaminga, which is really kind of cool. It came with this little booklet, and this booklet kind of goes through everything, like what everything is called on the actual compass, even down to actually how to do, how to shoot azimuths, back azimuths, general north, magnetic north, how to tell how to actually use the full scope of the entire compass. So basically, the entire compass comes with a really cool, high quality US military grade sheath. It's pretty generic, standard sheath. I've seen a lot of people put medical kits and things in these kind of sheaths, but this sheath is, I think, originally designed for compasses, or at least this sheath is designed for this compass. So it's a really great sheath with really high quality. It's got a really nice belt lanyard back here you can adjust and put on pretty much any kind of belt you want. Anything thick though, it may kind of have issues with, but I've found no problems with using it, and it seems to be very reliable and sturdy. The entire compass comes just like this. It comes with a nice little lanyard that you actually loop around the entire mechanism, which is really nice. So the entire lanyard actually connects to a nice little ring hook right here, or a ring loop, that comes with Lensatic compass, which is really kind of neat. And it's a very long lanyard, and what it's designed to do is hang around your neck while you open it and use it and hang it out in front of you. And it needs to be far enough away that it's not being interfered with by any kind of metal, even knives. So you want to make sure your knife is out of the way, or any kind of metal material is not around your compass when you're using it. The actual how thick it is, it's actually 1 inch thick, and the actual compass itself, when unfolded completely, is right around 6 inches. So this is actually 6 inches right here. Maybe a little bit more because this little ring is sticking out, but it's around the generic 6 inch mark. And then it is actually 2 inches thick, or wide, 2 inches wide, by 1 inch thick. I already said that really. So the overall size of it isn't really that big of a deal. If you don't really like that, that's okay. Not every compass is designed for every person, and you have to find the kind of compass that fits you. I personally rely on Lensatic compasses to get my bearings and find my way, and it usually works for me. I feel like it's more of a test-proven system, especially since military guys use it, and it was developed for the military, by Kaminga, the Kaminga company, which are all military issue compasses are generally that brand. And they do have a tritium version, which lasts for a very long time. It has very bright indicator lights, phosphorescent lights and things on the inside, which are pretty much always glowing, which have a lifespan of usually 10 to 12 years. This is just the phosphorescent version, so I think this is the $60 version, or it's in the $60 to $70 range. And I think I think this version is absolutely the best kind of version to get, just because, it honestly, I don't want to pay a whole lot of money for a compass, because if I break it, lose it, or buy, after I've already paid so much money for it, I would feel really guilty having paid $100 for a really good quality compass, and then losing it, and then feeling really bad that I, basically lost $100 compass. But you can get any compass that you want. This is specifically going to be about this compass in general, the U.S. military brand. And I feel like these are the more reliable ones. And don't go with any of the generic off versions. So that being said, I guess that's really all I got to say about that. So the entire scope of the Lensatic compass is really cool. So what you do is you unfold this thing, and this is like a thumb loop. And what you do is you slide your thumb in there, right? And then you actually fold up the covering, the lens covering, up to 90 degrees, and then you open up I think this is a sight bracket. You open up the sight bracket all the way, and that actually uncatches. There's a little catch down here where the actual lens bracket is, and you see that little white tab down there. That actually pinches against it and keeps the entire lens from actually moving. So when you're running around, you don't want that lens bouncing up and damaging itself, or ruining any kind of ability to actually give you any kind of direction, which is nice. Their compasses are not liquid filled, which is kind of nice, because they use a different kind of system that keeps the actual compass even and perfectly aligned. So after you open it, basically on the inside it has a bezel that actually rotates, and you can see that little phosphorescent tab up here. Kind of rotates, and that is a phosphorescent tab to be able to see it in the dark. And you can match that up with north to get your to get your bearings or your azimuths or whatever you want to call them. And basically, it does have a sight wire. It has a sight. It helps you sight with your sight wire, and obviously your sight wire is up here. It's this black little wire that's right in there, which is nice. And what you do is you basically take the whole system and you cant this so that you can read the numbers. You're going to be reading your azimuth numbers, and it does have azimuth numbers in red, and then it has your minutes of angle in black. So the red, which are on the bottom half, are the actual azimuths. And so what you do is you shoot yourself an azimuth by taking this whole system, putting your thumb through it, kind of like sighting in it, almost like a gun. And then you place this section of your hand against your cheek, and then basically you take your readings. That may have been way off, but that's okay. But basically, the entire system adjusts so you can get whatever you need done, and it does have a really good quality phosphorescent paint in there. When you shine a really bright light on it, it does stay lit up for quite a long time, at least 10 to 15 minutes, or at least in my experience, it's 10 to 15 minutes. And that's really great. I mean, honestly, like, what more can you ask for? Especially in a compass, because you can unfold the whole thing too and do generic compass reading too, where you get your direction, your points of direction. Um, and you can use that. You use that bezel wire to kind of line up on your map, and use your outer edge as well. And you can kind of line up to other lines, which is neat and nice. Basically, yeah. And then you close the whole system up, and there it is. It's locked away. There's no shaking, no rattling, nothing to bump and be heard by the enemy, or if you're trying to sneak up on somebody. It says on the back, it says phosphorescent military compass. So military grade, really great. It does come with a really nice durable outer coating. I don't know if it's baked on. I don't know. I don't know what kind of coating it actually is. But it is some sort of baked on hard coating, which is nice. And it is OD green, non-reflective material, so it does not reflect light very well. The actual thumb ring has gotten rust a little bit over time. I don't know if you guys can really see it well or not. And it's got a little bit of rust over time. Of course, I've used this outdoors a couple times, and things just happen. It gets bumped, scratched, whatever. But what's funny is, as much as it's been thrown around and stuff, it has no scratches on the outside because that coating is so durable. And in my experience, all the ones that I've used in the past when I was in ROTC they were scratched up and had little tiny nicks here and there, but they weren't that bad, and it's actually quite surprising how much abrasion and wear resistance these things are. So highly recommended. Really, really great system. That's really all I have for now, and this is the Kaminga U.S. Military Grade Model 27 Lensatic compass, and that was my review on it. And if you guys really enjoyed it, or if I said something that wasn't right, obviously feel free to comment. And I apologize if I may have messed up anything or any of my sayings. I'm just giving you guys the general overview of my actual model and what I enjoy about it and what I generally use it for, which is generally just getting directions and maybe shooting a small azimuth if I have to head in a direction. And generally what I do is when I set up points, I usually have a map with me, and if I run into an emergency situation, I can either shoot an azimuth, or I shoot azimuths. I shoot pre-azimuths, so when I arrive to a point, if I do run into an emergency, or if I am in an emergency situation and I can get to that point, I can shoot an azimuth towards, I've already pre-shot an azimuth towards the nearest either highway or some sort of civilization where I can seek help. So I can find my way there, and I have that written down with me usually, so I have a good bearing on what's going to happen. But generally I like to take maps too, because sometimes, obviously things get in the way, rivers and mountains and other things. So it's always great to have a map on you. It's always great to know where you're going. And, like I said before, or maybe I didn't say before, when the lights go out and the batteries stop working, the only thing that's going to be left, is not going to be your GPS system, but it's going to be your compass. So just kind of a good thing to have, and kind of something for you guys to chew on. But that being said, you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and try not to hurt yourselves out there. All right, this is Zach, and I'm signing out.